This is Marie from Underground Crafter, and today I'm going to be unboxing the Baby Lock Bloom. I should say that I am a Baby Lock ambassador, and I have been one since 2018. Prior to that, I've been a Baby Lock user since 2005. This is my fifth or sixth, I'm not sure, Baby Lock machine. And I'm really excited about this one because it's a sewing and embroidery machine. Way back when I had an embroidery machine, like around 2007, that I bought used. And I only got to use it a couple times because I ended up moving and I just didn't have space for it. So I ended up selling it at the time. And so I don't even remember what model it was. It was a Baby Lock. And I am really excited to get started with this one. So let's check out the Baby Lock Bloom. Okay, we're going to start by opening the box. And I know this is always a tough part because it tells you not to use sharp instruments. And of course, everyone wants to hit it with a scissor. So what I'm going to say is start by peeling up the tape on the side, and that will help you do this without any sharp object. Now, I always recommend keeping your sewing box at least until you've used the machine a few times, because if you need to send it back or do any repairs or anything, it's a helpful box. Also, as someone who's recently moved, I can tell you that if you don't have the original sewing box, you will feel quite nervous about moving with a sewing machine. So we are opening up, and I will say just right off the bat, it's a lot larger than the box that my Brilliant, which is my current sewing machine that I've been using the most, came in. Okay, so this is a collection of tools. I'm going to keep this on the side for now. So these pieces are just part of the packaging, so I'm going to take them out. Okay, surprise if you didn't already know. One of the reasons I was excited about the Bloom is it has a knee lift. If you haven't used a knee lift before, it allows you to move your presser foot up and down hands-free just by using your knee. Okay, this is for threading. Okay, this is the foot controller, also known as the foot pedal. This is the power cord. And this is another collection of tools, and we'll open that in a few. What we've all been waiting for, the sewing machine. You can see that it has a hard shell case. It also comes with printed manuals and brochures. I also usually save these plastics. Again, someone who's recently moved, it's just been a pain. If you ever want to sell your machine too, it's helpful to have this. Okay, I'm just turning the box so you can see that there is an entire other box in here as well. So everything else is packaging. So I'm gonna set this all aside and then we will open it up together.
So you may notice that I suddenly have a totally different outfit on. Well, it turns out that a lot of the video of the unboxing, when I was showing all the details of everything after I took it out of the box, recorded without sound. So I'm going to add a voiceover to the next parts. So here we go. One of the things I recommend before you take the tape off your machine is to take pictures where the tape is located. That is super helpful if you are ever moving or want to sell your machine or need to ship it somewhere. And if you have space to store the box, I recommend keeping that piece too. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about what comes on the machine. I took off the on-machine storage unit, which also reveals the free arm. It comes with the standard J presser foot that is on a lot of baby lock machines. It's a zigzag foot, and it has a leveling button on the side. Let me take it off and show you. You can use that to sew over fabrics of different heights, different layers, and so on. Something else to keep in mind is the machine comes with instruction and reference guide and a few other things. This includes all the information about the feet that are inside, the stitches, how to use it. It's really a great resource. I keep the print copy, and then I also download the PDF to save on my computer, on my tablet, so I always have access. This machine also comes with information about design database transfer for embroidery. I'm kind of interested in that. Has a quick reference guide, and it has an embroidery design guide. So I'm looking forward to diving into that and learning a little more about that later. Okay, so let's talk presser feet. These were in the onboard storage. The first one is a buttonhole foot, and I've actually had that standard with a couple of other machines that I've had. That space is for the J foot that's on the machine. This one that I'm pulling out now is for the R foot. It's a blind stitch foot. This next one is an I foot, which is the zipper foot. This is the G foot. It's an overcasting foot. It's great for overlocking stitches. It's helpful if you don't have a serger and you want to do serger type stitches. This is the N foot. It's a monogramming foot. And I recall that some special stitches on my other machine have used it. Usually the machine will tell you if you need that particular foot for a specific stitch. This is the M foot. It's the button fitting foot, and it works obviously with the buttonholer foot. One makes the buttonhole, one helps you fit the button in. This is a seam ripper, and I love that it comes with a little top to protect your fingers, and you can keep it on the machine. So when you take out the tray, you'll see this little foot inside, and of course remove the tape. It's not there by mistake. You can see that it's actually meant to go there. And this is the Q foot, which is the embroidery foot. So this is, I guess, what we're going to put on when we actually want to embroider. And so when you look back in the box, you can see there's a label for it, and there's also a little spot for it to fit in so that it doesn't wiggle around. So that's the embroidery foot. Okay, we're going to put all these parts away and put this on machine storage, back on the machine, and then we're going to see what else came inside of the box. Okay, so this little baggie also came, and it has quite a few different supplies inside. So let's open it up. This is a thread spool insert. Here are two more spool caps. We had another one inside of the box. You should always be using the one that is the right side for your, or the right size, I should say, for your spool of thread so that it doesn't get too loose. This one also came in the box, and it also has a horizontal spool pin. So altogether there are 3 of the different spool caps. There are also 3 of these little tools that come inside of the machine. There's 2 screwdrivers. There is a smaller one and a larger one. And the orange handle is an eyelet punch. Now this is a surprisingly important tool. It's a little brush. When I first was sewing, first of all, I never cleaned my machine, and I also just didn't realize how much could happen in there. And I ended up, when I first took it to be maintained, there was just like tangled up threads on the inside, trapped in the bobbin. Also because I was using old needles, which isn't great. So this little brush is part of the routine maintenance of your machine, kind of cleaning out any dust that might have accumulated from the thread in the bobbin area. So that's something you should be using regularly. This little tool is a circle screwdriver, and I've actually used this quite a few times on my current machines, and it's a nifty little tool to have. This is a set of embroidery snips, which is great. You're gonna need them, I'm assuming, with all the embroidery thread. They're pretty sharp and they have a little tip protector to keep your fingers safe again. This is a new to me doodad. It's called a bobbin center pin. And it comes with a little instruction booklet that talks about using pre-wound bobbins. So I'm looking forward to learning more about that. We had one more pouch that came with the machine, so let's open it up and see what's inside. So usually this is where some tools and stuff come. And okay, so we have a quilting foot. We have a non-stick foot, sometimes called a Teflon foot. It's great for sticky fabrics like vinyl and leather. We have a stitch guide foot. I've used this for straight line quilting. So you will mark up your fabric for one line and then basically you line up the edge of the foot against that line and you can quilt parallel lines. We have an open toe foot. We have an adjustable zipper piping foot. We have a twin needle. And in addition to the machine, the needle on the machine, we have 6 extra needles. And it looks like there's 2 each in 7511, 9014, and 9014 ballpoint. So I'm going to put these away, but that was 13 presser feet, which is pretty good. So what else do we have? We have a foot pedal, also known as a foot controller. I don't usually use mine. I use the start-stop button, which I'll show you in a little bit more detail about. And we also have the plug to connect to power. And I'm getting a cat visitor break. This machine also comes with a knee lifter that you can use your knee to raise and lower the presser foot to do that hands-free. And you put it in that little hole at the front of the machine. Okay, and now we're going to be heading back to the part of the original video that was recorded with sound.
Just a quick tour around the front of the bloom so you can see some of the different operation buttons. You may be familiar with these if you have a baby lock machine already. This is a start-stop button. As I mentioned, you can use it instead of a foot controller. And unlike some of the other ones, this one has colors. So it's green, that means it's ready to sew. When it's red, you can't sew. Probably the presser foot is up or something else. And when it's orange, it's winding the bobbin thread or the bobbin winder shaft is moved to the right side. So basically, you need to finish that before you start sewing. This is for reverse stitches. This is a reinforcement stitch button. You can do it manually with reverse stitches, but if you just want to have a reinforcement stitch at the start and end, use this button. This is the needle up down. This is the thread cutter, which I love. This is the speed control. You can use this with the foot control as well, but if you're only using start stop, it's much more important. And then on this panel, and you'll also get a little reflective view of me. Sorry about that. A couple of things you can see here. So obviously this is the LCD screen, which apparently is actually a touch panel for this particular device. So I'm kind of excited about that. This is for the previous page and the next page. If you need to see something that you previously saw or the next thing on the display. This is a back key that brings you back to a previous screen. This is something I haven't used before. It's called a presser foot needle exchange key, and basically you can press that before you change the needle or the presser foot, and it locks the key and the button functions to prevent accidental operation of the machine. So that's great. This is for the utility stitches. This is for embroidery. This is for settings of things like needle stop, buzzer sounds, and so on. And this is actually a help key, which is really cool, which again, I haven't used before, that helps you use the machine. And up here, as you can see, there's a bobbin winder. This is a guidance for how to thread the machine. And when you look down here, you can see there's a little thread cutter and an automatic needle threader. And so that's, and there's also, you know, the normal stuff, presser foot, lever, and so on. That's a little tour of the front. Okay, so I don't know about you, but I want to know what's in this box. I'm pretty sure this is all the embroidery-ish stuff, so I'm kind of excited. So we're going to move this over to the front and see what's inside. Okay, so we have embroidery hoop, the embroidery unit, embroidery bobbin thread, and the book notes that it is 50 weight. So that's probably a thing I'm going to need to remember, and an alternate bobbin case. So as I did before I took the blue tape off the machine, I took a picture of where the blue tape was on the embroidery unit, again, in case I need to move or bring it someplace, I'll know that. And I'm going to peel that tape off. Okay, so what's cool about this is that you can take it off. So if you don't want to do embroidery, you want to do standard sewing, you can do that. So when you want to do embroidery, you'll do some other setup as well, like you'll put the embroidery foot, but you will basically attach this where this onboard storage is. We didn't really look at these when we were doing the unboxing, but these are the embroidery frame sets. It comes with two. You can see they're different sizes. Let me check. The larger one is 12 by 5 inches, and the smaller one is 7 by 5 inches. For those of you that are new to embroidery machines, you know, the size of what you can embroider is somewhat dictated by the size of these. So having the two sizes is great. If you're working on a smaller design, you don't need to use the bigger one, but if you want to have a bigger design, you can have that option, which is great. And then each one, oh, my cat is definitely interested in being part of this unboxing. Same cat, I have two, but the same one, Cappuccino, the unboxer. Okay, two more things to share in the unboxing. These were not officially part of the Bloom. One of the things that the Bloom didn't come with that my previous sewing machine, the Baby Lock Brilliant, came with is a walking foot. So I asked Baby Lock to send me a walking foot as well. And so the specific type of walking foot for this is called a dynamic walking foot. And I have actually not used this particular walking foot before. So it comes in a little bag. Well, it comes in this little box, but then inside the box is a little bag. And it's similar looking, but it feels like possibly slightly heavier than the walking foot that I have now. And it's got a metal outer rather than plastic, and it has more than one piece here. So let me just show you that. Excuse the dogs. I live next door to a dog park. I'm actually surprised that's the first barking. So these are the two pieces, the feet part of the foot, and then this. And if you've used a walking foot before, you'll see it has, you know, very similar, has a little fork thing here. And there is a little instruction booklet inside. And I also got a Baby Lock Love of Sewing membership. So if you're not familiar with that, these are kind of online video courses, and they have a lot that are specific to different machines. So this particular one works with a bunch of machines, but also including the Bloom. And I'm not gonna show all the details, but it has inside access codes that you can use to get your membership. So those are the two additional things that Baby Lock sent to me, the Love of Sewing membership and the dynamic walking foot, in addition to everything you saw come out of the box with the Bloom. I hope you've enjoyed my unboxing of the Baby Lock Bloom. As I mentioned at the beginning, this is a sewing and embroidery machine from Baby Lock. It's my first time using an embroidery machine in a long time. if you have questions about the Bloom, about my other sewing machines, which are currently the Baby Lock Jubilant and the Baby Lock Brilliant, or if you just have questions about using an embroidery machine for the first time, let me know, and I'm happy to do a blog post or a video in the future to answer those. Thanks so much for watching. Feel free to follow or subscribe wherever you're watching, and have a wonderful day. Thanks.